Hey, it's Dave Wyman, Football 101, and today we're going to talk about all the rage in the NFL right now, the fly sweep. And we'll diagram that, but you see lots of teams running that. And we'll talk about defensively about protecting the edge, which just means don't let anybody get outside to the outside part of the field. Why that's so important in the NFL is the way that the field is laid out. This is real football 101 stuff. The hash marks are a little bit wider in college, so sometimes when it's spotted, you got a really wide side, but you got a short side. In the NFL, there's about 6 yards between these two hashes, and we all know it's 53 1/3 according to Russell Wilson to the width of the field. So you got like 23 yards and change out here on the outside. And this is the reason why corners get paid more than safeties, why defensive ends get paid more than defensive tackles, why tackles get paid more than guards, just in general. And receivers get paid more than tight ends because the guys that are operating out here are the finest athletes in the world. And that's why they get as much money as they do. But it's really important in the NFL to protect the edge. Don't let teams get outside of you. And how people are doing that now is this fly sweep. And all that is you send a guy in motion right before the snap of the ball, and he's flying. He's going full speed, and quarterback takes the snap and just hands it off right there, and he's gone. They also saw one where they were in shotgun, and Gurley came across the formation, and they kind of flipped it to him. Same thing, you got the guy in motion, and so whoever is on the other side of this needs to turn everything back in. And I don't know if you remember, in 2014, Percy Harvin ran a fly sweep in a game against the Packers, and it was executed perfectly because Zach Miller, the tight end here, he hooked the defensive end. A hook block is you get so he can't get outside of you. And the fly sweep came and it went for big yardage, and everybody was writing articles about how it's going to revolutionize the game. The NFL catches up to it eventually. But, the Seahawks weren't able to because there was a couple of them that got out of the gate. It's coming. I think you're going to see teams stop it. But what's so interesting about it is it spreads your defense out. It makes you have to be really honest on the backside. So what a lot of teams, I know the Chicago Bears did this, they ran a fake fly sweep this way. So this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, the corner, they all have to stay home. It kind of splits the defense in half. And then they run plays away. So normally these guys that would be chasing any kind of a normal run that goes away, they're going to have to freeze for just a moment. And sometimes it's enough just to get a guy who is like Todd Gurley, get him free and no backside help. So that's why. But this was a play, fourth quarter, 7:32. And I thought the key to this was, and I'm not a defensive coordinator, so somebody will figure it out. But the one thing on this, Frank was the defensive end, and he was actually lined outside the tight end. He ends up coming underneath the block. So it's something that you probably shouldn't do. But I think the reason why he was able to see this coming is he was up in a 2-point stance instead of down in a 3-point stance. And I think that might be one solution, whoever your force guy, and we talk about that all the time. This has to do with protecting the edge, and we talk about this nearly every week. And the reason why it's so important to me, I was an inside linebacker, and I used to get so frustrated. The outside guys, just turn it back in, and I'll make the tackle. And a lot of times guys would try to dip inside and make a tackle, and then it gets out the gate. So you really want to have on every play, you want to have force, which means you turn every running play back to the inside. But on this one, Frank, and I do think it was because he was standing up and saw the motion coming, and he comes underneath here. And like I said, typically what you'd want him to do is stay out here with outside leverage. So in this case, he would keep his left arm and his left leg free so he can, make sure he pushes every running play back to the inside. But he went underneath and just made a spectacular play like Frank is prone to do because he's so athletic. But that's one of the things that you're going to look for. And I think since the Seahawks, they had Robert Woods get a 57-yard fly sweep run until they fix that. And look for it this week against the Raiders because they got some speedy receivers. And, when you're in the NFL and you see this play working, everybody's doing it right now. And until you shut it down, people will continue to run this against you. But on this particular play, Frank gets inside, and I think it's because he was up and able to see the motion coming and makes a big play. But watch out for the fly sweep this year. It's very fashionable in the NFL right now. And until teams are able to shut this down, you're going to see more of it.